All right, so you're curious about what's going on in the night sky this month. October 2024, huh? Well, good news, it's a stellar month for stargazing. We've got this Star Walk article, and it is jam-packed with incredible deep sky objects, galaxies, nebulas, star clusters, you name it. October's got it, ready for a cosmic tour.
Absolutely. And what's great is they've organized it by apparent magnitude. Yeah, that's basically how bright they look from Earth, which is super helpful.
Like a cheat sheet for finding the best stuff.
Precisely.
Speaking of best stuff, this Star Walk article leads with a classic, the Andromeda Galaxy. What's the deal with this celestial superstar?
Andromeda is legendary. It's the most distant thing we can actually see with the naked eye. We're talking 2.5 million light years away.
Wait, hold on. So I could be like sitting on my porch, look up at the right spot, and see another galaxy.
You got it.
That's wild.
Isn't it? I mean, think about it. The light hitting your eye from Andromeda right now, that left its source 2.5 million years ago.
Wow.
Those photons, they've been traveling through space since before modern humans even existed.
That is mind-blowing. It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do I find this Andromeda Galaxy in the sky? What am I looking for?
Well, you'll need a really dark night,
Yeah.
far away from city lights. And even then, it'll look like this faint, fuzzy patch, sort of like a hazy, elongated cloud.
Okay.
But don't let that fool you, because it's actually 6 times wider than the full moon in our sky.
No way. Seriously, that's huge. I'm going to be looking for that for sure. Imagine pointing that out to somebody like, oh yeah, that smudge over there, that's another galaxy. Casual. So Andromeda's stealing the show for anyone in the northern hemisphere. But what about our friends in the south? Anything cool down there?
You bet. The southern hemisphere has its own treat this month. The small Magellanic Cloud.
Another galaxy you can see without a telescope.
That's right, though it might look more like a hazy glow.
Okay, another one for the list. Our cosmic neighborhood's more crowded than I thought. So we've got these mind-bogglingly distant galaxies. But the article also mentions something called the double cluster. What is that exactly?
Well, the name pretty much says it all. It's 2 star clusters right next to each other in the night sky. And get this, you can see them with your naked eye.
2 for 1. I like it. Are those anywhere near Andromeda and that Magellanic Cloud thing?
Oh no, these are much closer. They're still in our own Milky Way galaxy, though, just about 7,500 light years away. You'll find them in the constellation Perseus.
Okay, Perseus, gotta remember that. All right, next up on the list, and I have to say, this one has me a little obsessed.
Oh, which one?
The California Nebula. Please tell me it looks like California.
Well,
You're already crushing my dreams.
you might need a good imagination to see the state itself.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's visually stunning, even if it looks more like an abstract painting than, say, a map.
All right, so maybe not an exact match on the map.
Right.
What makes it worthy of the name California Nebula, then?
It's the color. It's a vast cloud of gas and dust, like other nebulae, but this one shines with a really vibrant red hue. And, California's known for those sunsets, right?
I see.
Those fiery reds and oranges.
Like a cosmic sunset frozen in time. Now, that's the kind of California souvenir I can get behind. But I'm guessing you need more than just your eyes to appreciate this cosmic sunset, right? So we've got galaxies we could practically reach out and touch, and a nebula named after a sunset. What else does October have in store? The article mentioned something about planetary nebulae. What are those?
Ah, planetary nebulae, yes. The name's a little misleading. They're not actually planets at all. Nope. They're what's left behind when a star dies.
Hold on, dying stars. So when I'm looking at a planetary nebula, what am I seeing?
The end of a star's life.
Whoa, that's kind of intense.
It is pretty amazing. And these nebula, they're not from massive stars exploding as supernovae or anything like that.
Okay, so not like a Hollywood ending.
Exactly. These are from stars more like our sun. When they die, they sort of puff out their outer layers.
Stuff out.
Yeah, they create these glowing clouds of gas. Those are the planetary nebulae.
Huh. So less action movie, more like a cosmic curtain call, I guess.
Something like that.
What makes these nebulae so interesting to look at?
The colors and shapes are incredible. Like the Helix Nebula, for example. It's sometimes called the Eye of God.
Wait, the Eye of God, why?
Because it literally looks like a giant eye staring back at us from space.
Okay, I have to admit, that's pretty cool. I've seen pictures, and it is a little eerie. How does it get that shape, though?
Well, as the star at the center of the Helix Nebula was shedding its outer layers, those layers kind of got blown outward. And we see those layers as rings now. And in the case of the Helix Nebula, Those rings happen to be lined up perfectly with our line of sight.
So it's just a coincidence, like a cosmic alignment that makes it look like an eye.
Exactly. That's part of what makes planetary nebulae so fascinating. They're like works of art, shaped by physics and chance and our perspective.
So cool. The article also mentions a couple of others, the Saturn Nebula and the Blue Snowball Nebula. What's special about those?
Well, the Saturn Nebula, as you might have guessed.
Let me guess. It looks like Saturn.
You got it.
Yeah.
It has these two lobes of gas extending outward on either side like rings.
No way. So it's like the universe is just playing a giant game of celestial dress up.
Right. And then you've got the Blue Snowball Nebula.
Okay, I'm picturing a giant blue snowball in space.
That's pretty much it.
Does it really look like that?
It's small and a little fainter than those other two we talked about, the Helix and the Saturn.
Right.
But it glows with this incredible blue light.
Beautiful. So it's the color that makes it stand out.
Exactly. Ionized oxygen, that's what gives it that blue.
Wow. Okay, before we move on from nebulae completely, there was one more thing in this article.
Yeah.
It mentioned something called the Triangulum Galaxy. Is that another galaxy? We were just talking about the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah.
And those are huge compared to nebulae, right?
You're exactly right. We tend to group galaxies and nebulae together when we're talking about these deep sky objects.
Right.
But they're very, very different things.
Okay, so refelt my memory. What's the difference again?
A nebula is like a cloud of gas and dust.
Yeah.
It's inside a galaxy.
Yeah.
A galaxy is a massive collection of stars and gas and dust all held together. And the Triangulum Galaxy, that's one of the most fascinating galaxies we can see.
This article says its apparent magnitude is 5.7. What does that even mean? Can we see that?
You're in luck.
Yeah.
A magnitude of 5.7 means that on a really clear night, far away from city lights,
Yeah.
you can actually see the Triangulum Galaxy with your naked eye.
Get out! Another galaxy.
It won't be as bright as Andromeda,
Okay.
but if you know where to look, you might catch it. Just this faint smudge of light, millions of light years away.
Our eyes are more powerful than I thought. So we've got galaxies we can see with our naked eyes, nebulae shaped like eyes, and planets and snowballs. October is already shaping up to be an awesome month for stargazing.
We're not even done yet. There's so much more to see up there.
I'm starting to think our eyes are way more powerful than we give them credit for.
They are. And you know what makes the Triangulum Galaxy even more interesting? It's part of what astronomers call the local group.
The local group, what's that? Some exclusive club I need a membership for?
No membership required. It's basically a group of galaxies all bound together by gravity.
Oh, okay, so like a galactic neighborhood.
Exactly.
So who else is in our neighborhood then?
Let's see. We've got our own Milky Way, Andromeda, of course.
Right.
The Triangulum Galaxy, and then a bunch of smaller dwarf galaxies.
Wow, so it's a whole party.
A cosmic get-together.
I love it. Okay, so to recap our October sky tour, we've got Andromeda, the Small Magellanic Cloud, double star clusters, a nebula that looks like a sunset, dying stars putting on a show, and a whole galactic party going on. That is a lot to look at.
It is. And we're just scratching the surface, really. There's always more to discover, even in the parts of the sky we think we know.
You're right. Every time you look up, it's a new adventure. Who knows what's out there, just waiting to be found. Maybe one of our listeners will make the next big discovery.
You never know. That's what I love about astronomy. The universe is full of mysteries, just waiting for us to solve them.
I couldn't agree more. All right, well, to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep looking up. You never know what you'll find. This has been amazing. I'm ready to grab my telescope and see these for myself. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, happy stargazing.